get those every hour, so don't sleep on those. And then the Guardians game is still technically set for tonight, but it looks like the weather's going to be terrible. So maybe they will thread the needle on whatever weather is moving through this afternoon. But 6:10 tonight is when that Guardians game is supposed to happen, as they're hosting the Boston Red Sox. They were just in Fenway to play those guys. That was a 4-game series. And Red Sox are here in Cleveland. 6:10 is supposed to be that first pitch tonight, but I think it's going to be kind of a wait-and-see thing. Another 6:10 game tomorrow night, and then the third in that series is an afternooner on Thursday, I believe. The Cavaliers go to Orlando. I keep wanting to say Miami, but it's Orlando. They are playing the Orlando Magic. I'll tell you what, here's a wild thing, too. I don't think there's a 1-1 series yet in the playoffs.
No.
The Knicks are 2-0 over the Sixers. Mm-hmm. The Nuggets are 2-0 over the Lakers.
In
the Cavs,
very dramatic fashion, both of those games.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cavs are 2-0 over the Magic. Boston's probably going to go 2-0 over the Heat. Timberwolves are playing Phoenix tonight. It's coincidental, but it's interesting. I mean, my mom is a Denver Nuggets fan, so she's paying attention to that.
She likes the Joker.
She loves Nikola Jokic. Loves that guy. And so it's pretty wild. So Cavs go to Orlando to start up again against the Orlando Magic.
It was so fun last night.
96-86, you and Grandma
Me
went.
and Grandma.
Grandma
and
was in here for a second.
Friends.
It was very nice to see her. She's so sweet.
And, man, we had the worst.
You two got drunk, didn't you?
No. Oh, she got a little drunk. She's a lightweight. She can only...
You buy her one beer and she's good to go.
And she doesn't drink beer. She likes a nice fruity cocktail. So
okay.
I got her a drink over at Hilarities. We popped in there at Pickwick for a minute. Had a drink, talked to Nick.
Yep.
You know, had some hellos with him, and then got to the game, and then at halftime...
Pre-gamed at Hilarities.
Yeah. Then got to the game, ran into Mike Polk, and... met up with him at halftime and got Grandma another drink, and she was just having the best time. She loves going to games. She loves hanging out with me. She loves Mike Polk. So
what's not to love about Mike Polk?
Right.
He's a newsman now.
Yeah, and so she just had a whirlwind of a wonderful night.
Yeah.
And the Cavs won. Now we were sitting against the wall.
I was going to say, your heads were hitting the beams on the ceiling of the Romo Fijo.
It was... But they're free tickets, so can't complain. And I actually like sitting with the people up there because they're into the game and they're chanting.
You're up there with the hoi polloi.
We got a good Orlando Tragic chant going for a little bit.
Tragic.
That was fun.
Yeah.
And it was just a blast.
Mary, you know what they call those cheap seats? It's called Volume Town up there.
I have heard that.
That's where Bill was. He and Grandma were up there cheering in Volume Town.
No,
I'm sorry?
No, Loudville.
I'm not familiar with that. Loudville? Am I pronouncing that correctly? Right. Loudville. Wow. Mm-hmm. Now, did tickets say Loudville? Like when you buy those tickets, do they say "I'm sorry" on them?
No, they just say Loudville. Mm-hmm. You're lucky to be here.
Wow, yeah.
But it was such a fun game, and there were some customers sitting around us after the game. They're like, "Are you Bill?" And I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, "We tried to get the tickets today at the zoo. We were on our way, and they had already gotten taken, but we were able to get some of these nosebleeds." And I was like, "Hey, not a bad place to be."
I got to say, I'm surprised that there were even bad seats available. It's a playoff game.
I mean,
in Cleveland.
It's the resale tickets, though. People are always going to put resale tickets up.
Right, but were those people paying like $200 a seat?
I think like 85.
Wow. That's not bad, though.
For
playoff
games.
tickets?
Yeah, I know.
Wow. That still sounds cheap to me, even for resale. But it was a good time.
It was a great time.
Yeah.
The Cavs played well. It was, hanging out with Brian Sternick, formerly of the Funny Bus. He's not with them anymore.
Oh, he's not with them anymore?
No.
We're getting ready to start up again with the Cleveland Funny Bus in a couple of weeks.
He's he moved on.
Did they have a falling out? Did it come to blows?
No, nothing like that. It's just he runs a bunch of comedy shows with Secret Society, and it was just burning the candle a little too hard at both ends.
Okay.
With that, and so he just wanted to focus more on the shows that he's producing. And not the.
Have they replaced him yet over there? Because we got.
They got two buses, so they got a bunch of people working there.
Okay, good.
I know my friend Sarah works for them now.
Yep.
I know
Julia Mary, she's still over there.
Julia is there. Kristen's still there.
Yeah.
Darjan he's a newer guy there. I think he worked part of last season, but not when we were doing it. I'm not sure who else he's hired yet, but
Well, we're gonna
it's exciting. I'm excited because it's so fun to do those.
We did it last season and it was a lot of fun. So we're doing it again with the Cleveland Funny Bus. I'll give you the details in the week or so to come, but Bill and I are going to be alternating weeks hosting the Cleveland Funny Bus. And if you've never gone out on it, it is a lot of fun.
Are we starting the first week in May?
We are starting May the 8th.
May the 8th, okay.
Yep. So we're going to do Wednesday nights in May and June. But all the info on that, we'll give away some tickets and we'll tell people where they can get them because they are limited, of course. But it's a lot of fun. Hey, Woody. Hello, Woody.
Alan.
Yes, sir.
How's your day, brother?
So far, so good.
The first segment, you guys were just talking about food dyes and all that other nonsense. It's crazy we were talking about that because I literally did a food experiment last week or the week before, and I'm not going to drone on about it.
Oh, good for you.
But listen, so me and my girl were sitting out in the backyard. It was dark out, and this raccoon was running up a tree. And I said, yeah, he's going up there to get some bird eggs or some baby birds, because raccoons will eat anything. And so, long story short, I took a fresh egg and set it in my backyard overnight. I said, let's see how fast this thing's gone. The next day, it was still there. So to continue the experiment, I took a snack cake and that fresh egg and some old taco meat that I had in the refrigerator and set them side by side, a foot apart from each other in the garden.
By old taco meat, Woody, do you mean that you shaved your chest?
Exactly that, arriba. but yeah. So and believe me, the next day, the preservative, the snack cake with God knows what's in it is gone, and the 3-day-old taco meat is gone, and that store-bought egg is still sitting there. And I'm like, what's going on with that?
You can't be giving the local wildlife nutty buddies, Woody. Of course they're gonna. Of course they're gonna eat that up.
Well, I'm telling you, it's very strange. So the only thing I can do is go to my buddy's house on the west side who's got a chicken coop and get a fresh egg, still got the chicken poop on it, and put a store-bought egg beside the fresh egg. And if the fresh egg is gone and that store-bought egg is still sitting there, I don't know if I'll ever eat another store-bought egg again.
Woody's in the park tossing zebra cakes to the ducks. You're gonna decimate the local ecosystem out there, Woody.
Well, they obviously love them because it was gone in a flash.
Yeah, well, of course.
Isn't that strange that a snack cake full of preservatives is gone and 3-day-old ground beef is gone, and that store-bought egg is not even touched?
Why is that weird?
Well, you would think something would munch that, right?
No.
Eat everything.
Now when there's all those other things.
Oh. That's how Woody's girlfriend gets him in the mood. She goes, you'd think somebody would munch that, but so far, to no avail. All right, well, listen, keep us apprised of your woodland food experiments, will you, Woody?
You better believe it.
All right, thank you, sir. There's Woody out there in Willoughby. Again, this is another argument against retirement. When you retire, people are looking for ways to fill up their days. And some of the things they come up with are positively demented. Woody's out there tossing. I mean, unless I misunderstood him, it sounds completely not shocking that throwing things that are sweet out there are going to get the local fauna to come after it. It's sugar, right? Mm-hmm. What animal doesn't like? There isn't an animal alive that doesn't like sugar. I was reading about how Nestle is taking heat because they found out that they're putting the baby formula that they send overseas has sugar in it. And I'm like, I thought all baby formula had sugar in it. I mean, toothpaste has sugar in it. You're trying to get repeat customers. I didn't realize that this was
had sugar in it.
What's that?
I didn't know toothpaste had sugar in it.
Of course.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Like mint toothpaste?
Yes. Yeah, toothpaste has sugar in it.
Are you sure? Well, Colgate says that none of theirs has sugar.
Well, at the very least, okay, sweetener. I'm not talking raw cane sugar. Sweetener. Toothpaste. Ever have an unsweetened toothpaste, like get natural toothpaste? it's like putting wood putty on your teeth. And so whether or not that's better for you, I mean, but yes, mass-produced toothpastes have sweeteners in them.
The American Dental Association says they're not allowed. They're not allowed to contain any flavoring agents that contribute to tooth decay, according to the ADA, American Dental Association.
Well, all I'm saying is the toothpaste that I use a Crest or a Colgate or something, and there's some kind of flavoring in it.
Well, there's mint, and there's like whatever.
I don't mean
bonding
that. I mean
agents they
something to
use.
make it taste, because, okay, there's all these like bespoke toothpastes now, right? There's one called Hello. They're getting sued because they said no artificial sweeteners, and there were artificial sweeteners in it. So now there's a class action lawsuit against whoever makes this Hello. It's probably some bespoke toothpaste that one of the larger conglomerates makes, and they just put a cute little hipster label on it. But, they're getting sued because their commercials say no artificial sweeteners, and they're in there. So, anyway, Woody's out there doing stuff. I got money for you. It's $1,000, courtesy of the Buzzard bookie. So listen closely. I hope you win. Good luck.
This is your chance to bet with the Buzzard bookie and win $1,000 now. Enter this nationwide keyword at WMMS.com. Green. That's green. Enter it now at WMMS.
I guess I expected a different reaction than that one, but...
What an idiot.
But also, just, you like to make pictures in your head, right? Hence the laughter. Imagine an ostrich, which looks so unbelievably derpy anyway, sticking that long neck out and ganking these keys and then right down that big long gullet.
What an idiot.
They called Karen the ostrich the dancing queen at Kansas Topeka Zoo. Had to be euthanized as a result of swallowing the keys immediately. They consulted with experts around the country about trying to figure out how to get those keys out. They weren't able to do it, and they had to put Karen the ostrich down. The zoo staff says that they are devastated by the loss. Karen was 5 years old. She'd been at the Topeka Zoo for about a year, and she was known for her playful antics. Now, however, she's known for choking on someone's keys. Now imagine you're that person. Imagine you're the staff member and your keys are now in an ostrich. And the rest of the staff is trying to figure out a way to get the keys out and keep the bird alive. And all you're thinking is, I need to get into my house tonight.
Yeah.
Or
Like,
guys,
hey, how long am I going to be able to get to the key? I can't drive home.
You don't want to be a dick, but on the same, you're like, guys,
I need those keys.
we got to slice this thing open because I got to get out of here.
Probably just stick your hand down the neck. It's a long neck.
My shift is over in 90 minutes. Chop, chop on the ostrich. So that person, I don't know who the staff member was, but that person, they couldn't go home, right? They had to. Maybe they were upset too. Maybe they wouldn't have been able to sleep. But also maybe they had a really bad day that day, and this just capped it. They just want to get the hell out of there, right? I can't imagine it's an easy gig, no matter what you do at the zoo.
And you're definitely underpaid.
Sloths are probably easy.
Yeah, but nobody's handling just one thing, right? Like you're going back and forth between the sloth enclosure, and then zoos are this big combination, as far as staff goes, obviously, it's this big combination of just kind of workaday people and then medical professionals. So, and they're all working, in concert with each other. But
I would think
if you were the person who had your keys swallowed by an ostrich, you're like, God damn it. I would like to go home, but I can't stand there and complain because they're trying to save this animal. You'd think what?
That they would have specific animals so that the animals would get used to you. Like maybe you have two, but you only work with like the ostriches and the llamas or something. Or
that might be what it is.
Lions and the gorillas.
That might be what it is.
There's not a constant stream of new people coming in and freaking these animals out.
Yeah. I remember when we went on our way to Louisville, Kentucky, we stopped at the Cincinnati Zoo. We'd never been there before. This is just months ago. And they have that Fiona the hippo. That's like their big spotlight out there is this hippo born in captivity, and they've got books written about her and blah, blah, blah. Famous hippo my daughter wanted to see. And my daughter is also, because she is an 8-year-old girl, is way into red pandas. And so she wanted to see the red pandas. Well, the red pandas weren't hanging out that day. And so we went back to kind of where they're supposed to be. And everybody's looking in the trees because they have these signs. Hey, if you don't see one of the red pandas, look up. A lot of times they like to hang in the trees. So we're looking at this thing in every possible direction, trying to spot pandas in the trees. And it's not the end of the world, right? My kid isn't a kid that flips out, but it was kind of a bummer. She wanted to see him. And so we're asking a woman as she's walking by, we're like, hey, are you like associated with this area? She goes, yeah, sometimes they just don't want to hang out. And that's what you get at a zoo. Sometimes they're not there. Sometimes they don't want to hang out. But the girl we were talking to seemed like she knew what she was talking about, right? Other people just walking by who work there, they're like, yeah, I don't know. I'm lizards. One girl goes, the first girl we asked goes, I'm lizards. And I go, oh. And we went over to the lizards, and that's where she was, and she's able to give you, a little bit of information on her area of expertise. But the red panda lady, wasn't much she could do, right? She's not going to go back there and poke them. These are animals. And they're not always going to hang out when you want them to hang out. So our timing was bad. But yeah, you're right. I think there's people who have maybe general knowledge of where everything is and where it's supposed to be, and then people who are like, oh, I'm the ostrich lady. Right. So maybe it was the ostrich lady. And again, animals are unpredictable. It's why I love stories of people that have like a tiger in their garage or whatever. It knows me. Yeah, it knows you until it eats your head. They're animals. Just because they're enclosed doesn't make them any less wild. So maybe this ostrich wasn't having it anymore. I don't know what the circumstances surrounding this were. I don't know if it had an ostrich friend. When my brother and I were house sitting for a friend of our dad's, I was 16, my brother was 15. We were house sitting for a friend of our dad's. He and his wife had gone on an Alaskan cruise that was a month and a half long. And so we were house sitting for them, and they had a bunch of animals. And they had 3 ostriches. They had dogs and they had other animals. They had chickens and things like that. But the ostriches were really the focal point. These were the animals that were going to need the most attention. And you don't want to get on the wrong side of an ostrich.
These things are mean.
They're mean. They're strong as balls. And so you really have, in retrospect,
huge, dude.
They're so big,
how
yeah.
huge they are. Like, I mean, not they're tall. Their bodies.
Yeah.
yes.
They are giant animals.
Big ass bird, man. They're dinosaurs.
In retrospect, like throughout my adult life, when I've retold these anecdotes, I've thought, wow, I don't know that I would have put 2 teenage dudes in charge of ostriches. I had no experience with them. Now, it went fine. There weren't any major problems other than those crabapple toughs who came out to the house. But other than that...
Still on the loose. We'll find them someday.
That's right. Still looking for the real apple throwers who broke the window of that house. Upstairs bedroom, far west corner. But, yeah, ostriches, man, I mean, they had a month and a half to get acclimated to us, and frankly, it didn't take long. And, of course, we tried to make the requisite ostrich egg omelet, which was a disaster. But I don't know the nature of it. Anyway, the Topeka, Kansas Zoo has lost Karen the ostrich after she choked on a staff member's keys. I have to imagine one of those giant janitor rings, too, right? I mean, they just grabbed it and slid down their gullet.
Yep.
Oh. I'm going to take a break here. If you want to send me a text for anything, 35192, want to watch live, you can do that at alancoxshow.com.
It's the Alan Cox Show.